Yes, wrestling is scripted. My name is Eric, known on the internet as Tubby Emo. You can follow me at Tubby Emo. We're diving right in because a big topic recently occurred. Kevin Owens won the title on Monday Night Raw. What occurred following that, though, and we're going to break down what I actually think about Kevin Owens winning later, but first, the bigger and more important issue. Yes, we understand that wrestling is scripted, Mr. ESPN reporter. Here's the thing. This is where it pisses me off. Amin Al-Hassan. Yes, wrestling is scripted. Do you tell your kid at Christmas that Santa's fake? No, you probably don't. Eventually, that bride will be lifted, just like when we finally got the inside look at wrestling from Dirt Sheets and Dave Meltzer, and everybody exposed the business in a way, bringing them behind the curtain. Wrestling fans didn't care because it was entertainment. The same way I'm sure, Mr. Al-Hassan, that if you watch a show like The Walking Dead and you cheer for your favorite character, like Kevin Owens' son had for his father on national television, winning a prize he had no idea that would happen, a prize that 5 years ago nobody thought was ever possible because Vince McMahon didn't look at wrestlers like Kevin Owens as a big deal. Kevin Owens winning the title is a very big deal for a multitude of reasons. Yes, wrestling is scripted. You could say wrestling is faked, but faked choreographed. You do know what's going to happen. The same way writers know what's going to happen on The Walking Dead, the same way that reality TV shows are poked and prodded by producers to get the on-screen results that you know and love. But here's the thing. When you go after somebody's son, that's where it crosses the line. Mr. Al-Hassan, do you have kids? If one of them loses the tooth, do you break it to them? Hey, there's no tooth fairy, Timmy. I put it under your pillow. Fuck off. No, you probably don't. And I'll be the first one to say I'm not going to bash you because I think the tweet was made as a joke and it was not meant to offend. But you went after somebody's kid. Wrestlers are fair game all you want. If you want to tweet about wrestlers, the fact that it's scripted, choreographed, to get a rise out of them like Conor McGregor for marketing, for business, go for it. But when you take away the joy and happiness of a kid, that's what entertainment is meant to do. Entertainment is either meant to bring emotion, joy, happiness, frustration, sadness, bring out the range of emotions. And that's what happened when Kevin Owens on national television won the WWE Championship. See, Kevin Owens never should have been in the WWE, according to what everybody said the WWE was. Kevin Owens defied all of these things. Regardless if the way he won the championship was the best way to do it, he did. His son, who never thought he would see his father in a WWE ring, who was a John Cena fan, went on to see his own father in the middle of the ring on national television in front of 3.4 million people win a belt that was impossible for him years ago. If that isn't something that somebody should be allowed to celebrate without being mocked, especially when they're their own kid, I don't know what entertainment is at that point then. Because all of entertainment on TV is fake to some degree. Now, I'm not one of the people who get triggered anymore hearing that. I used to be. I really did. Oh, man. Wrestling's fake. Oh, it's not fake. It's scripted. And yet that same person tells me their favorite show is Keeping Up with the Kardashians. You know, the show that's completely fucking fake just to make money and profit off of literally doing nothing. But again, I'm not bashing the Kardashians because they're making a living putting food on the table for their family. Just like Kevin Owens is for his son. And Kevin Owens should be allowed to celebrate. His son should be allowed to celebrate and bask in the fact that it was more than just winning a championship. It doesn't matter if it was scripted. It doesn't matter if it was planned. It was something that probably never was going to happen, and it did. That alone is an accomplishment based on where this business has been in the past. That's where I'm going to leave this. Mr. Al-Hassan has apologized, and Kevin Owens had tweeted out, I win. Mick Foley stepped up and tweeted out that this is not acceptable, and he was going to go to his bosses at Bristol and make something happen. He apologized. I'm willing to move on and talk about other things, but Mr. Al-Hassan, I know where your mind was. But in the future, think in terms of, what if it was your kid? What if you had finally got that big dream job you always wanted? Instead of just being a reporter for ESPN and ESPN Insider, you got your own show. If your son posted a video being absolutely happy, and somebody said, hey, you only got that job because of this. Or they made a comment that made that person feel degraded. Your own kid. How would you feel? I'm glad you apologized, and hopefully we can move on. Being an insider for ESPN and with their new relationship with WWE, this may have put him in some hot water. But we can learn from our mistakes. Just don't talk about Kevin Owens' kid again. Now let's talk about Kevin Owens actually winning the WWE Universal Champion. He did say years ago at PWG that he would be the champion of the universe and that Kevin Owens would do big things. Kevin Owens has done some memorable things in his career. He's fought Sami Zayn, El Generico all over the world, and literally they destroyed the hell out of each other. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think I would ever see Kevin Steen in the WWE for a multitude of reasons. But he's here. He came in and he defeated John Cena. Wow. He ultimately would go on to lose in the feud. He would go on to kind of sputter around for the next year. Come SummerSlam, he was tag teaming with Chris Jericho, and Jericho was becoming one of my favorite things. And ultimately, when it came to storyline purposes, a Fatal 4-Way match was created because Finn Balor got injured at SummerSlam after winning and holding the title for one day. Congratulations on being the longest reigning champion, by the way, Kevin. It's really awesome. Even though you hold the Doritos Locos belt, I'm kidding. I actually like it. I just wish it would have been red accent, say behind the belt, not the whole strap. But hey, that's just me. I kind of feel like Dean Ambrose's belt has to go blue now because it just feels weird being a normal black leather. But none of that matters. Because Kevin, when you won that title, I didn't care that it was because of the fact Triple H got involved. I didn't care the fact that when you won, it was kind of handed to you. Because none of that matters. We can look at that, speculate, bitch, complain, moan, and whine for the people that were thoroughly happy for him, but said it was handed to him. See, that's what, it doesn't matter. It's entertainment. And again, looking at it from an actual real-life perspective, I have to give Kevin Owens credit. He never gave up. He never wavered. He never gave up his dream. And now we got to make his son so proud. For that, thank you, Kevin. Now, in regards to the actual match, it was a little weird. The fact that Triple H got involved, and there's a lot more questions than answers. But that's also what entertainment is meant. If somebody just won, say Seth Rollins, well, he's been champion before. Everybody was speculating, well, it can't be Rollins because if Rollins wins, it's the same old WWE, nothing is new. Why? Just because WWE says it's a new era doesn't mean, oh, Finn Balor, the new guy, has to win. I think that's where people seem to get things mixed up. Just because a company is going in a new direction doesn't mean everything has to be new. It just should mean something. It should have some quality behind it. Where do we go from here? Is Triple H going after the Shield? Is Triple H just going after Roman? Is he handing the title to Kevin Owens? Is he giving it to all his guys? Who's he frustrated with? Where is it going to go from here? Kevin Owens, who was in a part of a tag team, how do we get stressed now between Chris Jericho? Are we going to get some friction? The original plan kind of called for Seth Rollins stepping out of the title picture for a while. Finn Balor, possibly versus KO, and then Chris Jericho at Hell in a Cell. Now, those were the leaked plans, and I haven't been talking about leaked plans very much, but it would make sense. Because when you build up two prominent superstars, such as Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, and eventually tease something between them, you can make magic. It's kind of like going to the old wrestling handbook when you're trying to do something. Except the way they've done it has been fantastic. If you paid attention with Kevin Owens, when Jericho had the match when he came out of Monday Night Raw the very first night and had that mixed tag match, Kevin Owens was on commentary that he has his back. And what did he say after the match when Big Cass came out? Oh, that's the big one. That's the one you got to watch out for. So in the match they had, Chris Jericho, psychology-wise at SummerSlam, stayed out of the ring for most of the time when Big Cass was in the ring. He stayed out and let Kevin Owens, the big bad Owens, come in and save the day. There's psychology in that. There's story in that. And that's one of the reasons I love his push so much. Does it make sense that Kevin Owens is on the top? According to Vince Russo, he doesn't want him as his face of the company. Would you put him on with Kelly Ripa? Would you do all this other stuff? Well, honestly, a title on a guy like John Cena would probably mean a lot more. It probably would. On national television, when you see side-by-side Kevin Owens versus John Cena, yeah, you're probably going to think John Cena is the face of the company and he can do it better. But that's where you're closed-minded and only thinking about wrestling. He can go on national television. I never thought I would get here. They told me it was impossible. There's a story behind it that draws people in. You don't just need the flashy, good-looking cat that's on the top, that's muscle-bounded and looks like a freak to go on national television, do the promoting, do whatever. The story behind Kevin Owens finally making it to the WWE and winning the championship, regardless if wrestling is scripted, is something that's next-level 2016 programming. It's something people can relate to. So you're right, Mr. Russo. I think you have a point. For the face of the company, would it be Kevin Owens for me, the guy that's going to put all the asses in the seats? Right now, no. But like Stone Cold is a guy that pushed the boundaries, pushed the authority. This is a guy that never should have been here. Made it to the top, and is the longest reigning Universal Champion in WWE history, even if it's less than a week old. If that isn't entertainment, and if that's not something for somebody's kid to be proud of, I don't know what is in this world. Because to me, Kevin Owens, even if it came the way it did, it doesn't matter. I couldn't be happier for you, Kevin. I am so glad Owen got to see this moment. I am so glad your wife posted it and we got to see, because it touched my heart. Kevin, thank you. Thank you for bringing this up. Thank you for squashing this. And thank you for putting somebody in their place. Mr. Al Hassan, thanks for apologizing. And in the future, stay the hell away from talking about people's kids.